Welcome to this edition of Medill Reports. I'm Michael Kazaborski. The name Willie Johnson might not mean anything to you, but it was his testimony that sent a 17-year-old boy to prison for the rest of his life. That was 15 years ago. Now, attorneys believe the case had problems. They want to talk to Willie Johnson. He may hold the key to one man's freedom. But as John Weinstein reports, no one can find him.
Cedric Cal is a convicted murderer, and he's been in Stateville prison for 15 years for a crime he says he didn't commit.
I had nothing to do with it. I ain't do nothing to them people.
Back in the spring of 1992, fatal shots rang out on North Harding and Augusta in what many neighbors believe was a gang dispute. 2 young men were killed. Seknoba Combe was in her house that day and heard the gunfire.
Cedric was not out there. And I'm 84 years old. I don't have to lie about nothing like that. That kid was not out there.
Most of the neighbors in this area know Combe as Grandma. Cal calls her that too. Moments after the shooting, he ran up to her porch.
And he came diagonally across the street to me and he was hollering, "Grandma, Grandma, what happened?" And I hollered at him and said, "Get out of the street, you're gonna get hit, they're gonna run over you."
Combe is convinced Cal didn't pull the trigger because she saw him run from the opposite direction of the crime scene. But she didn't see who fired the shots. And as far as Cal knows, there is only one man who holds the key to his freedom. One of the victims, Willie Johnson. But no one knows how to find Johnson. Cal's attorneys can't even find a photo of him.
There's no question he know who done it to him and his friends. He know. He can't tell nobody different that he doesn't know.
During the shooting, Johnson was hit multiple times, but survived. That night, he picked out Cal from a photo lineup in his hospital bed before surgery. But Johnson's story had some holes in it. He originally told police the gunman wore dark clothing. But hours later, police arrested Cal wearing this red sweatshirt. And Johnson has his own criminal past. At the time of the shooting, he had been convicted of 5 prior drug offenses. And in 2003, he was paroled after serving time for attempted murder and armed robbery. Rob Warden is the director of Northwestern Law School's Center on Wrongful Convictions. He wants to talk to Johnson.
We'll just ask him to repeat the story, tell us what his view of it is now. We're, of course, familiar with his trial testimony, and we'll see if his current view, how it differs from his trial testimony.
The Center on Wrongful Convictions has taken on Cal's case, and his attorneys believe Willie Johnson was lying. They also think that after all these years, he might be willing to recant his testimony.
We have an investigator, basically gumshoeing the street, trying to find people who might know where he is.
And we hoping that the brother have a change of heart and the character to stand up to tell the truth and help us get up out of this prison.
Cal's attorneys submitted this request for clemency to Governor Blagojevich's office in 2004, but it was rejected. Now Cal is hoping for a new trial, but for that, his attorneys need Johnson. Within the past month, investigators for the Center on Wrongful Convictions have come close to finding Johnson. They had what they believed to be his address, but close is not enough. Cal's mom, Olivia, could barely stop crying during our interview. Her son is living out his adult life in the prison system. But she remembers a boy with promise and hopes that one day Cal will be free.
If he could sit behind those bars year after year and believe that justice will come to him, if he can sit there and being locked up and been accused for something he didn't do, if he can have the faith, then I must have faith for him.
I would hope that we would be able to exonerate him and ultimately obtain a pardon based on innocence. That would be the best.
The state's attorney's office declined to participate in our report. The Chicago Police Department didn't respond to our request for a comment. And we tried to find the victims' families in this case, but because so much time has passed, we weren't able to track anyone down. Cal is sentenced to life in prison plus 30 years. He has no hope for parole, but he does have some hope that Willie Johnson is still alive and willing to revisit what is starting to fade in the memories of so many others.
And the thing about it was so sad is that he not even giving justice to his friends that was killed, because the people that done it are still out there.
John Weinstein, Medill Report.